So you guys know Amy Luciani, the one who was married to Dwight Howard but was going through a divorce. She posted on Instagram a picture of her and Dwight Howard together in a series of photos, and the caption listed underneath basically said, devil, you're not gonna make us give up that easily." She also confirmed in the comments pretty much that they're deciding to move forward with their marriage. It does raise some questions though, how this whole thing unfolded. I feel like their relationship was already under a microscope. I was interested in seeing how it was going to play out because of all of the oddness or unusual activity surrounding like the circumstances of their relationship. Like not too long ago, Dwight Howard, who basically has denied this his whole life, was exposed legally for messing around with men sexually. Like that was confirmed. And it wasn't like something to where, oh, it could be or it couldn't be. In the legal filings, he was accused of messing with this guy. His attorneys responded and said that he did, but that it was consensual, which means that his own lawyers are not denying that the situation happened. They're saying that it happened. Now, he could be bisexual, and I don't believe in, trying to just say, oh, a person is only gay or only straight. I understand there could be someone who's bisexual. Here's the thing that makes it a little odd. He has spent a long time denying that it's even true, which turned out to be a lie. So to me, at that point, you could be lying about anything. You could be lying about being bisexual. You really could. Anyways, he marries this girl, Amy, and I've seen her YouTube clips. She's a TV personality. So I know she's seen all of this about Dwight Howard. Like, it's not like she's in the blind or anything like that. There's just no way. So with that being said, it raises more questions for me because typically women, especially black women, are not too keen of dealing with men who deal with other men. That's just not really a thing like that. There are some girls that are like that and nothing's wrong with that at all, but it's not the norm, right? So it just seems like everything in their relationship is set up for this perfect storm to happen, and everybody just kind of assumed the relationship was BS. Then on top of that, I've seen clips of her talk about what kind of men that she's interested in, and I've taken note of the fact that she said things about like, I like them to be business minded, and that could be code for money. Not necessarily, but it could be, and it makes sense. So basically how this all ends up unfolding is that back in June, at the end of June, Dwight Howard files for legal separation, which is actually different from divorce. He wasn't filing for a divorce. He was basically telling the court that her and I right now cannot live together as spouse. So we need you to step in and basically mediate who's going to stay where or anything like that. We're having some problems is basically what it's saying. And we need a mediator to kind of step in and help us like solve this. That usually ends in divorce, but it could also end to y'all being back together if you guys are able to figure things out. But in the meantime, the court's going to step in and decide living arrangements, usually things that have to do with kids and stuff like that. Cool. After that, she actually goes ahead and files for divorce. But she doesn't only file for divorce. She files for divorce and she files for her legal fees to be covered. Now that's normal, right? If I was getting a divorce with somebody, legal fees at that point, basically like a small inconvenience, really like just like a middle finger, like F you. Not no like weird type of thing or anything that raises eyebrows. Then she files for marital property to be equitably distributed. See, here's that loaded terminology because I can understand why somebody would file that, because legal property under like marriage laws, like marriage property could be you and your spouse signed up for a mortgage together. because you guys were married and your name is both on the mortgage. And now that you're getting a divorce, you need it to be decided how exactly is this going to work, which you're going to need the courts for, because if I'm a judge, I'm going to be like, oh, well, so-and-so has been paying most of this, even though both of your names on it. I mean, you did take the risk by signing up for it, and maybe your credit was better than theirs, which is how they even got it. So this is how we're going to do it, right? You gotta dive into all of that. But that's not all marriage property means. It also means that any property that you acquired during the course of the marriage is treated like legal property. So let's say that you went and got yourself like a nice car while you were married to someone. You went to the car dealer alone. You had the money for it. You put it out your account. You bought the car's in your name. But when you don't go to get a divorce, the judge is going to consider the fact that you got this property while you were married to this person. So technically, that can be considered marriage property, right? So that raises eyebrows. But the real eyebrow raiser is after a whopping 5 months, 4 months, or whatever, how many months it had been of being married, she filed for alimony. Now, alimony made sense back in the day a lot of times, because you would have situations where the dude or the husband was working, the wife was staying home and taking care of the kids, and she hadn't been working for 10 years. All the money was in his name. And they would get a divorce, and he would walk away with all his money, and she would be basically poor the next day, like homeless. So the courts created alimony in order to like avoid situations like that. It's not like Amy is a poor person. She could claim alimony to adjust to Dwight Howard's life, or something like it. Mary J. Blige's ex-husband was able to win $30,000 a month in alimony. Now, usually alimony is not something that's like permanent, so that's good. But alimony is still something that's given either until the end of the divorce or until the person gathers some skills when the court decides that the alimony should end. I wouldn't want to fund anything. So after that, not only does she file that, she goes and she files a petition with the court and says that Dwight Howard was abusing her in the relationship. Dwight Howard's legal team responds and says that this is all lies that she's making up, and that she's actually the aggressive person in the relationship, which when I look at the clips of her and when I look at Dwight Howard and how he's been, I believe that she's the aggressive person in the relationship 100%. I don't think that anybody doesn't think that. And the judge dismisses it. Now, fast forward, and we're seeing that she's posting that they're back together now. Now, if I was Dwight Howard, the only thing to do right now is to make sure that your finances are in order, because she already got you to a certain extent. She already got you. I do think that this relationship is just a perfect storm waiting to end, and I think that she's securing a bag, a hefty one. And as long as she can deal with him, she's going to put up with him to put in more time to get that good marital property. Could be wrong. Just saying, it's what it seems like to me. She's already shown you that she will ask for alimony if you get a divorce with her. To me, that would be a relationship ender right there. I would be with her, but I would be with her only to be preparing for when the divorce happens, which will be happening. As soon as I speak to my lawyers, get everything settled, make sure everything that I can keep, I'm going to keep, and getting up out of there. Prenups are so important. What do you think? Do you think that they're just having a messy relationship moment, but deep down you've watched her on TV, and I have it all wrong? You've actually seen her on TV. You watched her shows. She's a genuine person. She would never do something like that, because mind you, she came out later and said that she never asked for money, which was a straight lie. But if you're saying that she was on TV and you seen her and you have seen a different side of her that I have not seen, let me know. If you think that Dwight Howard, maybe he's bi, okay? We can't really say that, he hasn't messed with men before, because yeah, maybe he's bi, maybe he's just a little bit curious, maybe he just tried it, but he has kids and he has been with a woman for a long time before. So he seriously committed to this relationship. She seriously committed to this relationship. It was a messy relationship moment, but they could work out. If you feel like that, let me know. Or if you even agree with me, if you feel like, actually, this does look suspicious, this whole thing raises red flags, let me know that too.